Said, Kendall, come stand in the middle. You know what? How about you hold the trophy? And next thing you know, I have Steph Curry's MVP Finals MVP trophy in my hand. He's laughing behind us, pictures are traveling everywhere. I'm like, all I'm thinking is, please do not drop this trophy or you will not be on this golf team anymore. I didn't have a lot of representation or like people to look up to, but then once I got to Howard, being able to play on a black golf team with black coaches, and not even just playing against other black colleges and universities, but as well as playing with the best of the best, because that's one thing Howard has truly bestowed upon me, that it's okay to be with your people, but at the same time too, we can compete with anybody. Before I got to my time in college, a lot of people said the people you meet in college will be your friends for life. You'll see them at different celebrations, you'll see them at weddings, you'll see them at baby showers. So knowing I've made those lifelong friendships, just knowing that we always have a home to come back to at Howard. If I could do it all over again, I would absolutely choose Howard. I'm trying not to get emotional. I still cannot believe I am a senior and I am graduating. Ooh. Don't cry. My 2021 self would be so proud, especially because we came here not really knowing what we were going to achieve. And then at the time, being able to be 3-time MVP, being able to be a 6-time collegiate winner, being able to just experience so many things, see so many people, travel so many places, and just really excited for what's next, but knowing Howard is a true fundamental part of who I am, and I will for sure forever look at my life as before and after Howard.
At Howard, research is reimagined and innovation is redefined.
We tackle the world's most urgent challenges through bold discovery, powerful partnerships, and purpose-driven impact.
As the next-gen HBCU, we are not just advancing knowledge, we are shaping the future.
Presenting the School of Divinity. Presenting the College of Medicine. Presenting the College of Dentistry. We ask that all faculty, family, and friends to please remain seated during this portion of the enclave. Thank you. Presenting the School of Social Work. On behalf of Howard University, would all parents and students please find your way to your seat as we continue through this wonderful occasion. Again, please remain in your seats. Thank you. Presenting the faculty of Howard University. presenting the 50-year class of Howard University. Ladies and gentlemen, please find your way to your seats, clear the aisles, and prepare to have a wonderful afternoon. Once again, please clear the aisles and find your seats at this moment. Thank you. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, we kindly ask you to please clear the aisles and find your seats. Once again, we kindly ask that you clear the aisles and find your seats. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the platform party procession. Please remain standing for the presentation and posting of the colors, which will be followed by the national anthem, Lift Every Voice and Sing, and the invocation. The invocation will be delivered by the Reverend Dr. Bernard L. Richardson. Dr. Richardson is the Dean of the Andrew Rankin Memorial Chapel here on the campus of Howard University.
Let us pray. Most gracious and loving God, when a people were experiencing the crushing rate of discrimination and oppression, when hope unborn was dying, you gathered on these very grounds individuals whose intellect, creativity, and passion for justice, truth, and service changed the course of history. They rose above the trials and tribulations of their times, and Howard University became a beacon of hope and promise to a proud and glorious people. Today, we gather on these same grounds at yet another pivotal moment in history. There are those who are seeking to take us back to a way of life that is against life, against what is just, against what is even decent and humane. But we have come this far by faith, and you did not bring us this far just to leave us. And despite the dark and difficult days that may lie ahead, today we are celebrating with hope. We are celebrating with confidence. We are celebrating the class of 2025, a class shaped by adversity, who studied through national and global crises, who persevered through a pandemic that reshaped their world. But by your grace, O God, the obstacles did not deter them. The sacrifices did not dissuade them. The hardships did not break them. The class of 2025 not only endured, but they triumphed. But they did not reach this milestone alone. And so we give thanks for their parents, their families, and loved ones, whose prayers, sacrifices, unwavering support made this day possible. We give thanks for our outstanding faculty who taught and mentored them. We give thanks for our president, Ben Vincent III, our administration, and our trustees who kept these hallowed grounds secure through challenging times. Oh God, in this critical time, may this commencement moment be not only a celebration of achievement, but also a blessing of strength for the challenges that lie ahead. May this moment stand as a testament of hope, a declaration to all who are seeking to hold the people back, a divine order that once again from these hallowed grounds you are sending forth Howard University prepared graduates to teach, to lead, to invent, to serve, to heal, and to fight for justice in a world that desperately needs them. You are sending them forth to make this nation and the nations of your world what they never have been, but still must be. And they will succeed, and by your will, they will overcome. Bless now what our eyes will see, our ears will hear, our hearts will feel, as we celebrate the class of 2025. And in your name we pray, amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's join together in welcoming the 18th president of Howard University, Dr. Ben Vincent III.
Good morning, Howard University. To the esteemed members of the Board of Trustees, distinguished faculty, devoted staff, cherished families and friends, and most of all, the triumphant class of 2025. Today, we gather on sacred ground. We return to these hallowed grounds of Howard University for our commencement exercises, a place that has carried the hopes, dreams, triumphs of generations. There's just no place like the yard. In fact, when the illustrious class of 2025 first set foot on Howard University's campus, many of you did so by crossing the yard, a tradition, a rite of passage that marked your entry into a proud and storied lineage. That inaugural walk to your freshman pinning ceremony, surrounded by the imprints of Howard's legacy, Elaine Locke Hall, the Chadwick A. Boseman College of Fine Arts, and of course, the iconic Founders Library. This was far more than a stroll across campus. In fact, for the rest of this speech, everyone please be seated. That walk was the walk of knowledge, a symbolic first step into the intellectual, cultural, and spiritual journey that defines the Howard experience. It was your welcome into the bison herd, your invitation into a community where excellence is cultivated, where truth is pursued, and where history is made. Today, as you return to the yard for your final walk as Howard students, we celebrate the long walk you have taken since that moment. A walk not just across our physical campus, but through rigorous study, late-night debates, artistic breakthroughs, scientific discoveries, service to others, and a deepening sense of understanding your purpose here, your identity. Each stride you have taken toward commencement today represents a step in knowledge gained, a step in character built, and a step in coming to terms with the calling that you now carry into the world. As you cross the yard one final time, this time in cap and gown, you do so transformed, no longer as initiates, but as graduates, leaders, innovators, and torchbearers of Howard's abiding legacy. Congratulations, class of 2025, on completing your long walk to this unforgettable moment. Please stand again to be recognized. You may be seated. Let's recognize the family and friends of the class of 2025 for the love and support you have provided for our graduates. I also want to take a moment to recognize all of those who have joined us on this platform. The Howard University Board of Trustees, members of my presidential cabinet, the deans of the 14 schools and colleges, and the presidents of Howard University's constituency groups. This year, we also honor a group of honorary graduates who epitomize infinite excellence that we witness each and every day in our student bodies. Their stories are inspiring. Please join me in welcoming our honorary degree recipients, Dr. Emery Neal Brown, the Honorable Barbara Lee, Mayor Lillian Sonoy Barr, Natasha Trethway, and this year's commencement orator, LeVar Burton. Thank you once again for joining us and sharing in this special weekend with us. Now, I also invite you to join me in recognizing another group of distinguished individuals this morning who have helped shape the minds of our graduates and who have cultivated their excellence, and that is our faculty. Will you please stand, faculty? We are clear that Howard's professors, instructors, and lecturers are among the most accomplished and illustrious in higher education. And finally, our staff, alumni, and donors, who are proud and fiercely loyal defenders of the Howard Way, who steward our university's past, present, and future in unparalleled measures. It is you who help unlock the future for our graduates. So please, let's give all of them a round of applause. Now, I must also acknowledge that tomorrow is a very special day. Mother's Day. Happy early Mother's Day to all mothers and mother figures who are celebrating with us today. I certainly want to take this moment to send a special shout out to my wife and mother of our 3 children, Dr. Yolanda Fortenberry. Happy Mother's Day to you too. Thanks for all that you do for our family. And I'm also fortunate to have my own mother and mother-in-law with us. And I want to salute Dr. Lily Vinson and Mrs. Virgia Fortenberry for the love and light that they've given me and my family as well. Thank you. Now, class of 2025, as we celebrate this milestone in your journey, I want to share a simple but profound truth. You are making history. You are the largest graduating class in the history of Howard University. You are not only walking in the footsteps of giants, you are becoming giants, and the world is noticing. This year, following your lead, Howard University received a record number of applications. More students than ever are seeing this as a place where they can launch their dreams and their careers, where they can become the change makers that our world so urgently needs. These increases are a message that excellence is cultivated here and that it is undeniable, and that the world sees what Howard is and what Howard does. And it all begins with students like you. In preparing my remarks today, I reflected on the cycles of history, on how moments speak to each other across time. Allow me briefly to take us back 100 years to the class of 1925. This was the Roaring '20s, a time of bold creativity, political assertion, profound cultural shift. This was the time of the Harlem Renaissance, a defining moment in American history when black intellectuals, artists, and visionaries redefined how we saw ourselves and demanded that the world do the same. Howard became a national hub for black academics and thought leaders, conducting research and scholarship that challenged racist ideologies by emphasizing African American history, culture, and rights. Howard would invest in academic excellence, cultural revival, public service, all in alignment with the Renaissance's broader goals of racial pride and progress. Among Howard's ranks in 1925 were names like Alain Locke, a philosopher who would become known as the father of the Harlem Renaissance. We also remember Zora Neale Hurston, a student here in the 1920s who would co-found the beloved Hilltop newspaper and go on to become one of the most important voices in African American literature. And we remember figures like Charles Hamilton Houston, whose mind shaped Howard's School of Law and laid the groundwork for the civil rights movement. These were scholars who, like you, excelled in uncertain times. They did not wait for history. They made history. They were catalysts for change. They pushed boundaries, and they launched a renaissance. The commencement week that took place in 1925 was a celebration of all of this and a launching pad for new minds that helped shape the nation. And today, 100 years later, we are in the midst of another renaissance. And this time, it's you, the class of 2025, who are the catalysts. This renaissance is not just cultural. It is educational, technological, social, political. It is a renaissance in how we define leadership, how we define purpose in times of challenge. It is how we bear the standard of truth and service. And make no mistake, this renaissance is not here to redefine our values. It is here to reaffirm them. We do not abandon our legacy. We build upon our legacy. Graduates, you are entering a world that demands your innovation, but also your integrity. A world where artificial intelligence is rewriting industries, but where your human intelligence, your empathy, your creativity, your sense of justice must still lead. This is a world that is global, fast-paced, and unpredictable, but one that needs your commitment to excellence, leadership, truth, and service like never before. Let's be clear. You are not just graduates. You are Howard University graduates. You have been educated at an institution that for 158 years now has understood the stakes. You are bison for a reason. You leave here not only with your degrees, but with discernment, with character, with purpose. And like the class of 1925, you are standing at the edge of a new era. And as you walk across the stage this week, remember that your presence is your superpower. Your preparation is your armor. And your purpose is your North Star. As I close, I wanted to repeat a tradition that I started last year at Commencement. Class of 2025, take a moment. Add up the numbers 2, 0, 2, and 5. You get the number 9. According to Pythagorean numerology, based on the teachings of Pythagoras in the 6th century BCE, the number 9 represents completion, spiritual growth, universal love, humanitarian efforts, and compassion. Representing the end of a cycle and the potential for new beginnings. In other words, the number 9 is symbolic of a renaissance. Once again, congratulations to you, the historic class of 2025. You are not just part of a renaissance, you are the renaissance. Class of 2025, go boldly where no one has gone before. Go bravely, go forward as bison. H-U! Now please welcome, join me in welcoming to the podium the chairman of the Howard University Board of Trustees, Dr. Lawrence C. Morse.
Good morning. President Vinson, students and alumni, administrators, deans, faculty and staff, family and friends, honored members of the 50th reunion class of 1975. It is a special joy to be with you on this momentous occasion and to welcome you on behalf of the Howard University Board of Trustees. After a prolonged and trying absence, our commencement convocation has once again returned to the upper quadrangle of the yard. And with due respect to all the history that has been made on our beloved campus, there's perhaps no more revered place on the hilltop than the space which we now occupy. For 157 years, countless esteemed alumni and distinguished commencement orators have graced these very grounds for the occasion for which we've gathered this morning. Indeed, deeply embedded into this terra firma are the footsteps of past alumni who've trod the long walk to end their Howard sojourn and receive their hard-earned, well-deserved Howard degree. For the class of 2025, the path you've followed to reach the long walk has been winding and at times uncertain, but you persevered. You continue to walk forward at a determined and decisive pace until you reach this celebrated day. And just as you follow the steps of venerated alumni who preceded you, the faint echoes of their footfalls guiding you along your Howard path, so too will generations of bison to come use the trails you have blazed here to guide them on their own personal journeys. Your footprints now an indelible part of this great institution. Of course, we know that you did not reach this juncture without the love and support of many. To the families, friends, mentors, and loved ones who stood beside these graduates every step of the way, we thank you for your patience, your encouragement, your prayers, your late-night phone calls, your unconditional love, your periodic care packages, and of course, your tuition payments. Your presence in their lives is what makes this moment possible. Members of the class of 2025, please join me in celebrating them with a heartfelt Bison round of applause. Graduates, you will be embarking on your careers or perhaps further study at a challenging moment in our nation's history. You do so at a time when the very world order as we have known it for the better part of a century appears to be shifting before our eyes in real time. Understandably, you may find this a bit disorienting, a bit unsettling. Reflecting on a similar challenging time in our nation's history, in Black Reconstruction, his masterful examination of the period 1860 to 1880, published almost a century ago now, the towering 19th and 20th century intellectual W.E.B. Du Bois wrote in its final chapter that nations stagger and reel on their way. They make hideous mistakes. They commit frightful wrongs. They do great and wonderful things. He then posed a question that arguably engaged and informed his work over much of a long and extraordinarily productive life. Shall we not best guide humanity by telling the truth about all this, so far as the truth is ascertainable? That dedication and commitment to seeking, discovering, and being guided by the truth is deeply woven into the very fabric of this university, the warp and weft of it. It is in the very air that you breathe every day during your time here, and core to this institution's continuous success in producing graduates who've been forged and prepared to lead and serve humanity. And it is this, in part, that has armed and enabled generations of Howard graduates who have preceded you to carry on through difficult times, to walk together and not get weary, to not allow our nation's pendulous progress towards realizing the kind of America that was the dream of this institution's founders to alter the cadence of their lives. And by their example, their fierce determination and commitment to continue pushing and leading our nation and the world forward. It is this ethos that leads one to becoming the first African American to represent the state of Mississippi in Congress since Reconstruction, and to go on to become the first Secretary of Agriculture from the Deep South, the Honorable Mike Espy, to becoming federal judge Vanessa Bryant, to becoming investment banker and financier Charles Atkins, to becoming acclaimed award-winning actress Lynn Whitfield, to becoming the Venerable Dean of Rankin Chapel here at Howard University, the Reverend Dr. Bernard Richardson, to becoming the former president of Stillman College, Dr. Cynthia Warwick, to becoming Washington attorney, distinguished Washington attorney Donald Temple, accomplished physician Dr. Marvin Vennard, a former dean of the University of New Mexico School of Law, Alfred Matheson, all of whom, and many others, are members of the great class of 1975, here with us today, celebrating the 50th anniversary of their graduation from Howard University. Members of the class of 1975, welcome home, and thank you for honoring us with your presence. Your lives are an extraordinary collective inspiration to us all. Members of the class of 2025, they are looking to you. The entire Howard family is looking to you to carry on, to keep moving us forward. Today, you become the newest torchbearers of Howard's proud and enduring legacy. Congratulations on your marvelous achievement. We are proud of you, we believe in you, and we can't wait to see what you will contribute to humanity, to this country, and to the world in the years to come. God be with you on your journeys, and may God continue to bless the Howard University.
The student welcome will be delivered by Mr. Jacob Choral, Bachelor of Science candidate in the College of Arts and Sciences.
First and foremost, I'd like to thank our Father for allowing us to see this day. We are all blessed to be here through God's favor. Amen. My name is Jayla Chanel Dorman, and formerly known by all my classmates as JD, and I am a graduating senior honors health education major with a concentration in community health and a minor in chemistry from Durham, North Carolina. To our class of 2025, this is your moment to celebrate you. You ran your race, and as we like to say, this was a marathon, not a sprint. Plenty of tears have been shed, but be proud of every hurdle you've jumped and acknowledge that we are crossing the finish line back on the yard where we belong. We are the first class to experience a traditional commencement on the yard that encompasses the long walk since 2019. And after all the hard work we've put in on this campus, these are the flowers after all of the rain. Time and time again, HU 25 has proven that we are the standard. A class full of yard runners, a class full of doers. Have we ever just blended in? It's no secret that we reset the culture of Howard, from performing at the presidential candidate's election night watch party, to managing clothing brands, founding nonprofits, becoming content creators, interning on the Hill, advocating for gun safety, or submitting assignments while we're outside. Y'all know we've done it all and done it well. Each and every one of us deserve to sit and reflect on looking into the mirror of the moment when we opened our acceptance emails. Channel that feeling and think about all that you've become since then. Whether you thrived or barely survived, we should be proud that we made it, class of 2025. Yes, the fight through pursuing higher education is tough, but we know if it was easy, everyone would do it. This fight is something ingrained in us through the fight of our ancestors, who built a legacy for us to aspire to attend this university, as we are the culmination of our grandfather's dreams and our grandmother's prayers. For us, the fight started as we traveled from across the world with dreams of what awaited us at the Mecca. And it continued as we matriculated through this university. We've dealt with our fair share of mental health challenges, bomb threats, cyber attacks, and the notorious Howard runaround. Yes, and now, as we walk away, we're adequately prepared to withstand environmental, social, academic, and financial challenges with unshakable certainty because of the strong foundation we've acquired through our time at Howard. What I know for sure is that there is no need to fear our future, because if you know whose you are and who you are, nothing can strip you from what is for you, because He is the qualifier. All of the fighting we've done up to this point is what has prepared us for this next stage of our life, regardless of the circumstance. Let my life be a testament to the fact that you are not defined by your family's financial status, where you come from, a GPA slip-up, or social media noise. None of that can beat God's favor. The thought of speaking in front of you all today was initially daunting, but I have been reminded that we are more than able to do the things that others may not believe that we are equipped to do. I've spent the last 4 years on campus devoted to sharing my Why Howard story and why Howard University has been the best choice of my life to prospective students and their families through our Student Ambassadors program. And it always leads me back to the fact that you experience an insurmountable amount of personal growth through your matriculation through Howard. Here, adversity and doubt become your footstool. We are standing on the shoulders of Howard alumni who take immense pride in our institution and the way we do the HBCU experience. Howard introduced me to the concept of networking both up and across, building genuine friendships with my classmates who will soon become the next Kamala Harris and Chadwick Boseman. Yes. Through Howard, God's greatest gift in my life has been my community. But community goes beyond our friends. It extends to the professors that gave us grace, the administrators who checked on our financial aid, the ladies greeting you on your way into the cafeteria, the extra piece of chicken on Soul Food Thursday, the shuttle driver who waited when they saw you coming, and the professors that thought of you when they saw an opportunity. They are also a large part of our community. They helped us get through. Thank y'all. To every faculty and staff member that has made an impact on our lives, we thank you for being our advocates and support systems when we needed them most. Let's give them a round of applause. Community cannot stop here. We must have the humility to reach back, because in the same way that we couldn't have done it without the support we had, neither can the future generation of Bison. Howard University alumna Toni Morrison said, "When you get these jobs that you have been so brilliantly trained for, just remember that your real job is that if you are free, you need to free somebody else. If you have some power, then your job is to empower somebody else. That's real community." May the love we have for our beloved institution, the real HU, lay at the foundation of our next steps as we chase passion and purpose, while ensuring that we are not only making our own tables, but pulling up a few extra chairs for our own. And for those of you walking around with your head down when asked what's next because you don't know, it is okay. It's okay. Because if you're not able to figure it out, just know God is. It will all work out in the most perfect divine timing. Yes. There is so much promise on this yard and so much love surrounding us. As tomorrow approaches, our mothers and guardians deserve to be acknowledged for all they have done. And a very special shout out to my mom for all she has done to lead me to this point. Hey Mom, I love you. To every member of our village, we thank you for simply showing up for us today and reminding us with your presence that we are worth celebrating. And in turn, can we all take a moment to celebrate our villages? Whether it's your family from home or if your friends are anything like mine, the friends that became family on campus. Let's clap it up for them. When we went to our first Banneker party, our first Howard homecoming, when we met our first real friends on campus, before the letters and before the dorm affiliation, we were just happy to be Bison. HU25, we are one walking away from this university. One class with one unique experience over the years that we've been here. But the Howard experience is not one-dimensional. And as involved alumni, we should continue to work towards ensuring that every Bison feels that they have support while they're on this campus, because that's what makes us the Mecca. No matter how far we go on our personal journeys, I pray that we will never forget the foundation that Mecca gave us, because I am so proud to be a Howard University Bison. It's 25 to life. Yes, clap it up for 25 to life. And in closing, no matter how we feel, through God's favor, we will get up, we will dress up, and we will show up, because we are the class of 2025. Everyone, eyes front, head high to the finish. Class of 2025, we saw it through. God bless y'all.
The Howard University Chorale and the Concert Band will now perform M. Roger Holland's arrangement of Lord, Make Me an Instrument. Dr. Eric O'Poole conducting. As President Vincent returns to the podium, we will now confer the degrees honoris causa.
Vice Chair Mark Mason, please present Emory Neal Brown. Born and raised in Ocala, Florida, and shaped by parents who were both high school math teachers, Dr. Brown's academic journey took him from a segregated elementary school to Phillips Exeter Academy, then on to Harvard College, where he earned his undergraduate degree in applied mathematics, magna cum laude. He later received his PhD in statistics and his MD, magna cum laude, from Harvard, all before completing clinical training at Brigham and Women's Hospital in Massachusetts General. Throughout his groundbreaking career, Dr. Brown has used mathematical and statistical models to illuminate the inner workings of the human brain, from decoding the circadian clock to understanding how we lose and regain consciousness under anesthesia. His research has revealed that general anesthesia is not akin to sleep, but rather a pharmacologically induced reversible coma, a discovery that has revolutionized clinical approaches to anesthetic care. In pursuit of this knowledge, Dr. Brown has developed innovative tools and techniques to read and interpret brain activity, pioneer closed-loop systems for anesthetic delivery, and introduce safer, more precise methods for monitoring brain states in the operating room. His scholarship has earned widespread acclaim. Dr. Brown is the first African American ever elected to all three branches of the national academies. Those are the Academy of Sciences, Medicine, and Engineering. He is a fellow of the IEEE, the American Academy of Arts and Sciences, the National Academy of Inventors, and the American Association for the Advancement of Science. He also received the 2024 National Medal of Science, the nation's highest scientific honor. In all of this, Dr. Brown has remained a teacher, a mentor, and a builder, shaping the future of science, medicine, and technology through his leadership and by his example. On the historic occasion of our 157th commencement, it is with utmost gratitude, pride, and respect that we honor Dr. Emory Neal Brown, conferring upon him the degree of Doctor of Science honoris causa. Congratulations and Godspeed. Vice Chair Leslie Hale, please present the Honorable Barbara Lee. Mayor-elect Lee is a trailblazer whose extraordinary legacy spans nearly 4 decades in public office. She is the first black woman to represent Northern California in both state legislature and the United States Congress. She championed bold, progressive action and always led with people at the center of her purpose. In Congress, she held many influential leadership roles, chairing the Congressional Black Caucus, the Task Force on Poverty, Income, and Inequality, and the Congressional Social Work Caucus. And she worked tirelessly to uplift historically marginalized communities. Her advocacy was never abstract. It came from lived experience. A former single mother who understood the pain of poverty, housing insecurity, and the need for equitable access and education and healthcare, she has always governed with both compassion and clarity. Mayor-elect Lee's impact in Oakland and throughout California is profound. During her time in office, she has secured billions in federal funding, supporting small businesses, investing in public safety, modernizing infrastructure, and expanding the Port of Oakland. But her influence stretches far beyond her district. On the national stage, she is perhaps best known for her lone and courageous vote against granting the executive branch unlimited war powers after the 9/11 tragedy. In that moment, and in so many others, she demonstrated a moral clarity and political bravery that has inspired generations. Her commitment to justice began early, integrating her high school's cheerleading team, leading the Black Student Union at Mills College, and organizing Shirley Chisholm's historic presidential campaign. She went on to serve as Chief of Staff to Congressman Ron Delamus, then as a California state legislator, and finally as a distinguished member of the U.S. House of Representatives from 1998 to 2025. Her life's work has earned her numerous honors, including the Thomas Merton Award, the Courage of Conscience Award, and she is an honorary member of Sigma Gamma Rho sorority. Now, as Oakland's mayor-elect, Barbara Lee continues her service to community with unshakable resolve and hope. On the historic occasion of our 157th commencement, it is with utmost gratitude, pride, and respect that we honor Mrs. Barbara Lee, conferring upon her the degree Doctor of Laws honoris causa. Congratulations and Godspeed. Thank you. Congratulations. Trustee Godfrey Gill, please present the Honorable Lillian Sonoy Barr. Born and raised in Kenya, Mrs. Sonoy Barr's early life was marked by an acute awareness of inequalities facing women, girls, and marginalized communities. A reality that sparked a lifelong commitment to advocacy, empowerment, and human rights. In her late 20s, she journeyed to Derry, Londonderry in Northern Ireland, carrying with her a vision of a more inclusive society and the will to help build it. As the founder and chief executive officer of the Northwest Migrants Forum, Mrs. Sonoy Barr has been a relentless voice for migrants and minoritized people, challenging systems of exclusion and leading efforts to combat racism, promote equity, and foster lasting community cohesion. Her impact quickly expanded into the political sphere, where she emerged as a transformative figure. As a member of the Social Democratic Labor Party, she made history in 2023, becoming the first black elected representative in Northern Ireland. She served as councillor for the Foyleside district. Today, she serves as mayor of Derry City and the Strabane district, a role in which she leads with accessibility, vision, and unwavering hope. Yet her leadership extends far beyond the council chambers. Whether advancing racial justice, women's health, housing equity, youth empowerment, or the nighttime economy, Lillian Sonoy Barr continues to inspire and uplift communities at the grassroots level. She is also a mentor, a champion for the next generation, and a passionate believer that young people must not only be heard, but lead. Her work has earned numerous accolades, but her true legacy is written in the lives that she transforms every single day. Mrs. Sonoy Barr, your journey is a living testament to courage, conviction, and a belief that a better and more inclusive world is not only possible, it is absolutely within our reach. On the historic occasion of our 157th commencement, it is with utmost gratitude, pride, and respect that we honor Mrs. Lillian Sonoy Barr, conferring upon her the degree of Doctor of Laws honoris causa. Congratulations and Godspeed. Congratulations. Trustee Minnie Baylor Henry, please present Miss Natasha Trethway. Miss Natasha Trethway served 2 terms as the 19th Poet Laureate of the United States from 2012 to 2014, bringing to that role her signature clarity, grace, and deep engagement with history. She is the author of 5 acclaimed poetry collections, including Native Guard, which earned her the 2007 Pulitzer Prize, as well as Monument, poems new and selected. Her work spans genres, including the nonfiction meditation Beyond Katrina, the best-selling memoir Memorial Drive, and most recently, The House of Being, a profound reflection on the art and act of writing. Ms. Trethway's voice and vision have been recognized by the Academy of American Poets, the Guggenheim Foundation, the National Endowment for the Arts, and institutions such as Yale, Harvard, the American Academy in Rome. She is a fellow of the American Academy of Arts and Sciences, the American Philosophical Society, and the American Academy of Arts and Letters. Her lifetime achievements in poetry have been honored by the Library of Congress, the Heinz Family Foundation, among many others. Ms. Trethway has served as Chancellor Emeritus of the Academy of American Poets and currently sits on the boards of the Pulitzer Prize and other leading institutions. She holds the title of Board of Trustees Professor of English at Northwestern University. In honoring Natasha Trethway today, we celebrate not only an extraordinary writer, but also a courageous chronicler of memory, of history, and of the American experience. On the occasion of our 157th commencement, It is with utmost gratitude, pride, and respect that we honor Ms. Natasha Trethway, conferring upon her the degree of letters honoris causa. Congratulations and Godspeed. Congratulations. Chairman Lawrence Morse, please present the orator, Mr. LeVar Burton. Across 5 decades of extraordinary creative work, LeVar Burton has helped shape the American imagination. From his breakout role as Kunta Kinte in Roots, to his beloved portrayal of Geordie LaForge in Star Trek: The Next Generation, to his iconic 23-year run as host and executive producer of Reading Rainbow, Mr. Burton has inspired generations with performances rooted in truth, empathy, and hope. A decorated actor, director, producer, and podcaster, Mr. Burton is the recipient of 7 NAACP Image Awards, a Peabody, a Grammy, 15 Emmy Awards, including the Lifetime Achievement Award at the inaugural Children's and Family Emmys. Yet, among his most profound contributions is his lifelong commitment to literacy. In 2023, he premiered The Right to Read, a powerful documentary that frames literacy as a civil rights issue. It was a film that was featured at the Santa Barbara International Film Festival by South by Southwest. Mr. Burton is also the author of Aftermath, The Rhino Who Swallowed a Storm, and a kid's book about imagination. His storytelling masterclass remains among the most popular on the platform, and his award-winning podcast, LeVar Burton Reads, has garnered more than 25 million downloads. Through his production company, LeVar Burton Entertainment, he continues to champion projects that build community, celebrate diversity, and foster empathy. Mr. Burton, your voice has been a beacon for children, for artists, for dreamers. For anyone who believes in the power of a story to shape a more just and committed world. On the historic occasion of our 157th commencement, it is with utmost gratitude, pride, and respect that we honor our commencement convocation orator, LeVar Burton, conferring upon him the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa. Congratulations and Godspeed.
Okay, so President Vincent, distinguished members of the Board of Trustees, Dr. Morse, distinguished members of the platform, my fellow honorary conferees. It is my extreme and joyous pleasure to be with you this morning. But before I get to a few remarks, y'all have inspired me to want to just sing a little bit of one of my favorite songs. So I'll begin, and I want y'all to join in. Butterfly in the sky, I can go. To the graduating class of 2025, good morning. Oh, now here's the first adage. Life is not a spectator sport. You must show up with energy and enthusiasm. You must let the universe know you are here. And so I say again to the class of 2025, good morning. I cannot believe that I am here at Howard University, the Mecca, to celebrate with you this most auspicious day. And this is indeed a day for unabashed, unbridled celebration. It may sound seemingly obvious, but we have made high art out of commemorating such events. And when I say we, I mean we. We wrap them in ritual, cloak them in ceremony, imbuing them with an importance and even reverence that harkens back to the rites of passage we carried with us from the motherland. You see, this commencement is a passage. It's a portal, if you will, between all that has come before it and all that which is yet to come. Now, until now, the story of your lives have been determined mostly by the elders in your orbit. Your parents, coaches, professors, those whose job has been to adequately prepare you for now, to keep you motivated, safe, and alive, while pouring into you all of the knowledge, wisdom, and common sense, all of the love and passion and good home training your sometimes nappy, headstrong selves would allow. You see, I believe that we have all come to make a contribution. We have a gift to deliver in this life. And it is incumbent upon us to discover what that gift is, and then to further our responsibility to nurture and develop that gift with all of the intention and tenacity that we can possibly muster, so that ultimately we might make good on the promise of that gift and deliver it to the world. Now, I know that you are all grateful for the love and support you have benefited from over the years, most especially these past 4. But if you will indulge me, I would like to take a moment to engage in a ritual of gratitude that I learned many years ago from my friend, Fred Rogers. Some of you may know him better as Mr. Rogers. Now, I am blessed to have called Fred both a friend and a mentor. Fred was a Presbyterian minister, and as I had spent some time in the seminary myself, we shared an understanding of the importance of service to others as an important part of our lives. I first met Fred in the spring of 1983 at a PBS press function over in Crystal City. Reading Rainbow, was about to debut with our premiere season on PBS, and I remember being excited because I was keen to meet the man behind the character of Mr. Rogers, because that had to be an act, right? Of course, I quickly learned that it was not. I didn't think anyone could be that calm, that patient, that kind. But Fred was without question one of the most authentic human beings I have ever had the privilege of knowing. Fred was that kind, that patient, that present. And whenever I was in Fred's company, I always felt a very alive sense of peace and calm. It was the energy that emanated from him. The man actually radiated love. I believe that Fred was a genuine bodhisattva, a living saint. Now, you can fight me on that if you want to, but that's my belief, and I'm sticking to it, okay? So this is a gratitude ritual that I learned from Fred. And in this moment, I would like for you all to close your eyes and focus your attention on someone in your life, a teacher, a parent, a coach, someone who saw something special in you, a light, a spark, a talent, and made an investment in you in an effort to help you develop your gift. Someone who made a commitment to help you reach your full potential. Let's do this for 1 minute. Go ahead and close your eyes. If they're not already closed, I'll watch the clock. How did that feel? Remember this, y'all. None of us get through this life on our own. We all have help along the way from family, friends, sometimes people we don't even know who are put in our lives to help us achieve our heart's desire. Now, whenever I have the opportunity to speak about my mother and mention her name in public, and that's who I was focused on just now, I do. Irma Jean Christian, that was my mother's name, and I consider that largely I am the man that I am because she was the woman that she was. Irma Jean, spelled E-R-M-A-G-E-N-E. She had the masculine spelling of her middle name, which is fascinating to me because she was both mother and father to my sisters and me. She was my first teacher, and it is from her that I have inherited my love of reading and the written word. My mother was the first person in her family to go to and graduate from college. Her first degree was in English literature from Philander Smith. A passionate reader, Irma had always one or more books going for her own personal pleasure and enjoyment. And in Irma Jean's house, you either read a book or you got hit in the head with one. She was determined that you were going to have encounters with the written word. What manner of encounter was absolutely up to you. Now, among the myriad lessons I learned from my mother was that as I grew up, I would inhabit a world that would sometimes be hostile to my presence simply because of the color of my skin. And she didn't sugarcoat it. She explained that that hostility could and would reveal itself in many forms. Physical violence among them. And as she wanted to keep me safe from harm, alive, She also prepared me to navigate an America still emerging from a Jim Crow consciousness. Common sense and good home training were one thing, but my survival depended on an acute understanding of the rules of the game. She believed that in America, a quality education was the leveler of the playing field, a field which was designed to provide an advantage to my melanin-challenged classmates. That's code for white people. My mother busted her behind to keep me and my sisters in Catholic schools because, as a former educator herself, she knew the best education available for her 3 children was found in private parochial schools. She instilled in me that it would be necessary for me to be twice as good as my classmates in order to be seen as even close to being equal. Irma taught me that whether I was raking the yard or writing an essay, nothing less than my best effort was required. She preached incessantly that the only appropriate response to being black in America was a relentless, determined, and sustained daily demonstration of excellence. However, as we all know, our country isn't always interested in our excellence. In fact, these days there are those who seem bent on not simply denying the existence of black excellence, but on dismantling the historical record that reflects our incontrovertible contributions to the creation of this American empire. And at every level, in every era, as slaves and then as the descendants of slaves, we have challenged this nation to live up to the promise of its founding proposition that all men are created equal. We have done everything within our power to ensure that America reach its full potential. We have built and birthed and shed blood and rent bone. We have, as Lincoln said, given every measure of our full devotion, and still, in the eyes of some, not all, but enough, we still continue to come up as unworthy. As a consequence, the inevitable, unfortunate reality is that for some of our fellow Americans, that will never change. However, the hard, cold truth is this: racism, the idea that one race is superior to another based on melanin count, is a lie. A lie that has been propped up and propagated for over 600 years in the service of justifying abhorrent behaviors and a colonizer agenda. And in 2025, America is still addicted to its racism and the benefits it has and continues to derive therefrom. And in this aspect, we are like an alcoholic who has yet to hit bottom. Now, before I am beset upon by the digital lynch mob, let me say this. You may disagree with my point of view. However, you cannot dismiss my lived experience as an American. And to be perfectly clear, I love my country, and I'm absolutely grateful for my life as an American. Only in America could a descendant of slaves, for whom simply knowing how to read just a few generations ago, a crime punishable by whipping or death, could grow up and become a celebrated champion for literacy and the written word. This, too, is America. This is still a land of great promise and opportunity, yet untold. I only wish for my country to live up to its original intention. And to do that, she must shun the scourge of racist thinking and behaving and policy making that holds this nation back and threatens to extinguish that light held aloft for all the world to see in Lady Liberty's lamp. It has been the honor of my lifetime to have represented the black experience in America, from our enslavement to boldly going to the stars, from Kunta to Geordie, with LeVar, the Reading Rainbow guy, in the middle of that continuum. Being chosen by Alex Haley in 1977 to play Kunta Kinte changed my life. I was a 19-year-old theater major at the University of Southern California in Los Angeles, and believe it or not, Roots was my first professional audition. My very first day as a professional actor, Cicely Tyson played my mother and Maya Angelou played my grandmother. I was plucked from the college ranks and found myself in the deep end of the pool filled with heroes and legends, and thank God I didn't drown. Instead, I was embraced by those actors and actresses I had watched and admired my whole life. They opened their arms and made welcome the new kid in their midst. Alex himself became somewhat of both a father figure and a big brother to me. He was an amazing storyteller, the best I've ever seen. But he was also an extraordinary human being. Now, here's a quick story about Alex. When we were on location in Savannah, Georgia, shooting Roots, Alex had come to know the level of commitment and sacrifice my mother was making so that I could attend USC. I had won scholarships enough to cover my tuition and fees, but not sufficient enough to cover my books or my room and board. So, in addition to her day job as a social worker, a master's in social work was her second degree, my mother worked nights as a cocktail waitress at a spot called Small's Paradise in my hometown of Sacramento, California, so that I could fulfill my dream of attending college at USC. So, Alex came to me one day and he said, I know how much your mother means to you, and I know that as a student you can't afford it, but I feel strongly that she needs to be a part of this experience. So Alex sent my mother a plane ticket so that she could literally see her sacrifices on my behalf pay off in real time. That's who Alex Haley was. He was not simply a great talent. He was, in my estimation, a great man. He taught me that talent alone is not enough. One has to be a good human being. Gene Roddenberry's storytelling had been a source of inspiration for me most of my life. So meeting and working with him was the fulfillment of a dream I didn't even know I had. I had fallen in love with science fiction literature as a boy, and it was rare for me to encounter heroes in the pages of those novels who looked like me. Gene was an early pioneer of the importance of representation on America's airwaves. The very first interracial kiss on network TV was on an episode of Star Trek, y'all. Gene's vision of the future, and make no mistake, he was a visionary. His vision meant the world to me because seeing Nichelle Nichols on the bridge of the Enterprise said to me that when the future arrived, there would be a place for me. It was upliftment in sharp contrast to the media landscape of the time. Mostly there was the nightly news footage of the Vietnam War, where young black men were overrepresented in the ranks of the wounded, captured, and killed. And violent crime in America, if you believe the network news, it was pretty much exclusively being perpetrated by the black community. Some of the most dominant media imagery of my childhood and adolescence were fire hoses and German shepherds being used as weapons to prevent black people from voting or marching for freedom, or for simply wanting to be treated like United States citizens with the same rights and privileges of our white counterparts. Star Trek was different. It saw me and it lifted me up. It inspired me. And I wasn't the only one either. I believe that there was some kid who, like me, was addicted to the show and was constantly being exposed to those images of Captain Kirk, reaching back to that Velcroed place on his hip, because there are no pockets in the future, y'all. I know, because I've been there. And Kirk would flip open his communicator, and he would call Scotty on the ship, "Scotty, beam me up," right? Well, I believe that kid grows up, becomes a scientist, maybe an engineer, and designs a ubiquitous piece of technology used by people all over this planet. By a show of hands, how many of you have ever heard of the flip cell phone? That, y'all, is called manifestation. And ultimately, that is what I learned from Gene Roddenberry, the power of manifestation. That a single individual in the service of delivering their gift can actually change the world. You see, that which we focus our attention upon, that which we hold in our minds and in our hearts, demonstrate daily in our thinking and speaking and doing, these are the things that we tend to manifest in this realm. We are natural manifestors, human beings. We are, in fact, masterful at it. We, all of us, exist here in this now moment as the result of the energy of manifestation, of a future dreamed, conjured, and birthed into being by our ancestors. Our forebears engaged in the ultimate act of resistance. They demonstrated on the daily the indomitability of their human spirit, and they survived. They poured their hopes and dreams and every ounce of their extraordinary humanity into the next generation, and that generation poured into the next, and on and on. There is a moment at the end of the 4th hour of Roots when Kunta is cut down after being whipped senseless and forced to answer to a name that was not his. And Fiddler is there ministering to his broken, bloody body, and he says, "What you care what that white man call you? You know who you be. Kunta. That's who you always be. Kunta Kinte." And then this next part, it floors me every time, because what the brilliant Louis Gossett Jr. says next was not in the script. It was ad-libbed. And he says, "There's gonna be another day." You hear me? There's going to be another day. And even though the future may look uncertain, graduates, and even daunting, that day has arrived. This now moment is yours to shape. But remember always that you are not alone. There is strength in community, and you will find sustenance and support in one another. Seek each other out. Remember that you are descended from some of the most resilient souls in the history of humanity. Trust yourselves. Know that your families and coaches and professors and mentors believe in you. I believe in you. And whatever you do, do not allow fear to paralyze you into non-action. You have been blessed with the good sense God gave you, and of course are the beneficiaries of good home training. Use them liberally and to your best advantage, and know in your heart of hearts that, in the words of one of my very favorite wordsmiths, Kendrick Lamar, we gonna be all right. You've got this, class of 2025. Go out there, deliver the gift that you've come to give, and do your utmost best to make this world a better one than the one we are handing to you, and continue to press this nation to live up to its most full potential. I thank you. God bless you and keep you. Amen and Ashe.
The Howard University Chorale will now perform a selection that is arranged by and will be conducted by Dr. Eric O'Poole. Don't You Let Nobody Turn You Around. Anaya Smith, soprano soloist.
Don't you let nobody, don't you let nobody turn you around. Don't you let nobody turn you around. Don't let them turn you around. Don't let them turn you around. Don't you let nobody turn you around. You better keep on, you better keep on talking and marching, marching up to freedom land, right up to freedom land. Don't you let no hatred, don't you let don't you let racism turn you around. Don't you let nobody turn you around. Don't let them turn you around. Don't let them turn you around. Don't you let nobody turn you around. You better keep on walking. Keep on talking, marching up to freedom land, right up to freedom land. I've been mute and I've been scorned. I've been talked about as sure as you're born. I'm gonna keep my hands on the gospel plow. Nobody, nobody, nobody gonna turn me out. I'm gonna find good trouble. Good trouble. I'm gonna find good trouble. Good trouble.
And now with honor, the conferring of degrees in course.
Will the candidates for graduate certificates and master's degrees from the graduate school please stand? Mr. President, upon recommendation of the faculty of the graduate school, I have the honor to present these candidates to receive the graduate certificate in college and university faculty preparation, the graduate certificate in international studies, the graduate certificate in computer security, the graduate certificate in women's studies, and the degrees of Master of Arts, Master of Computer Science, Master of Engineering, Master of Public Health, and Master of Science.
Candidates for the graduate certificate, the college and university faculty preparation graduate certificate in international studies, graduate certificate in computer security, graduate certificate in women's studies, and the degrees of Master of Arts, Master of Computer Science, Master of Engineering, Master of Public Health, and Master of Science. Upon recommendation of the dean and faculty and by the virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of Howard University, I do now confer upon you your degree and certificate. With all the rights, privileges, and duties pertaining thereto, I direct that you be invested with the hood appropriate to this degree. Congratulations.
Candidates for the degree Doctor of Philosophy. The candidates will be presented by Dana Williams, PhD, Dean.
Thank you, Mr. Provost. Will the candidates for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy please stand and proceed to the stage? Please proceed to the stage. Quickly. Mr. President, upon recommendation of the faculty of the graduate school, I have the honor to present these candidates to receive the Doctor of Philosophy degree.
Jean-Claude Pelec. Darrell E. Smith. Raul T. Candelaria. Kalima Elizabeth Banks. Deanna Latrice Hayden. Ibipo Buki Babalola. Imani Teresa Kabasa George. Sharose King Matthews. Ama Botima Apia Kubi. Valencia Lachey Scott. Shantae Parks Moy. Geneva Delane Green. Benedict Kweze Quagrain. Victor Ejiga. Collis Allen Brown Edwards. Destiny Nicola Charmaine Lawler. Nawaf Al-Fadi. Ikiolowa Elizabeth Apata. Ami Ajo Baliki. Alexis Victoria Elizabeth Michelle Harper. Austin Anderson. Forrest Gray Yerman. Dwayne A. Dixon. Maisha Vachelle Shelby. Carrie Lee Alexander. Kendra Shanae Woodfuck Anthony. William Antonio Austin. Shafante Charmaine Desino. Cheryl Lewis Hawkins. Tamiko Meeks Henderson. Janelle Blackman Pryor. Tiffany Camille Wheatland Disu. Jonathan Mark Barnes. Onyeyechi Obidiro. Bridget Quincy Smith. Mika Jones. Elizabeth Lucien. Lawrence Turner. Myra Nicole Wilson. Chantel Lamatrell Pinckney. Tiffany Lathan Smith. Joseph Elijah Bratton. Kathleen Marie Uzudlio. Stacy Raina Speller. Ernest Cornell Evans.
Let's go, E.
Eric Brandon West. Lindsay Whitehead. Joed Gengimi. Adrian Njanko. Cyril Armel Sayu Ngomsi. Babajide Teller. Shaquan Kamisha Frankson. Drew Dickinson. Cheryl Charisse Johnson. Camille Warner. Milan Ajani Brooke Poindexter. Christine Marie Kindler. Marcy Renee Budlik. Alyssa Bethune Charvonia. Mara Ramirez Ruiz. Moria Claire Harford. Tanisha Jones. Dwayne James. Ebony Enchantment McCovery. Eddie L. Gray III. Temple Reed Price. That's it. Thank you.
Candidates for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. Upon recommendation of the Dean and faculty, and by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of Howard University, I do now confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, with all the rights, privileges, and duties pertaining thereto. I direct that you be invested with the hood appropriate to this degree.
In the College of Arts and Sciences, the candidates will be presented by Reuben Patterson, PhD, Dean.
Will candidates from the divisions of Humanities, Social Sciences, and Natural Sciences for degrees from the College of Arts and Sciences please stand? Mr. President, upon recognition of the faculty of the College of Arts and Sciences, I have the honor of presenting these candidates to receive the degrees of Bachelor of Arts and Bachelor of Science.
In the School of Business, the candidates will be presented by Anthony Wilbon, PhD, Dean.
Thank you, Mr. Provost. Will the candidates for degrees from the School of Business please stand? Mr. President, upon recommendation of the faculty of the School of Business, I have the honor to present these candidates to receive the degrees of Bachelor of Business Administration and Accounting, Computer Information Systems, Finance, Insurance, International Business, Management, Marketing, Supply Chain Management, and Master of Business Administration, Master of Accountancy, Master of Finance, and Executive Master of Business Administration.
Candidates in the School of Business receiving the degrees of Bachelor of Business Administration in Accounting, Computer Information Systems, Finance, Insurance, International Business, Management, Marketing, Supply Chain Management, and Master of Business Administration, Master of Accountancy, Master of Finance, and Executive Master of Business Administration. Upon recommendation of the Dean and faculty, and by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees, I do now confer upon you your degree. With all the rights, privileges, and duties pertaining thereto, I direct that you be invested with the hood appropriate to this degree.
In the School of Education, the candidates will be presented by Dawn Williams, PhD, Dean.
Will the candidates from the School of Education please stand? Mr. President, upon recommendation of the faculty of the School of Education, I have the honor to present these fine candidates for the degrees of Bachelor of Education, of Science, Master of Education, and Doctor of Education.
Unfortunately, we have not. Something's wrong with this. Before conferring these degrees, I must also quickly confer the degrees upon the school from the candidates of College of Arts and Sciences, Division of Humanities, Social Sciences, and Natural Sciences. We did not want to keep you suspended in the air on this one. Candidates from the Division of Humanities, Social Sciences, and Natural Sciences in the College of Arts and Sciences for the degrees of Bachelor of Arts and Bachelor of Science. Upon recommendation of the Dean and faculty, by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of Howard University, I do now confer upon you your degree. With all the rights, privileges, and duties pertaining thereto, I direct that you be invested with the hood appropriate to this degree.
And again, will the candidates from the School of Education please stand? Mr. President, upon recommendation of the faculty of the School of Education, I have the high honor to present these fine candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science, Master of Education, and Doctor of Education.
Candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Science, Master of Education, and Doctor of Education. Upon recommendation of the Dean and faculty, and by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of Howard University, I do now confer upon you your degree and certificate. With all the rights, privileges, and duties pertaining thereto, I direct that you be invested with the hood appropriate to this degree. Congratulations.
In the Kathy Hughes School of Communications, the candidates will be presented by Chuka Onwumachili, PhD, Interim Dean.
I'll just bring them up.
Well, candidates for degrees from the School of Communications, please stand. Mr. President, upon recommendation of the faculty of the School of Communications, I have the honor to present these candidates to receive the degrees of Bachelor of Arts and the Master of Film, Arts, Fine Arts, and Film.
Candidates for the degrees of Bachelor of Arts and Master of Fine Arts in Film, upon the recommendation of the Dean and faculty, and by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of Howard University, I do now confer upon you your degree. With all the rights, privileges, and duties pertaining thereto, I direct that you be invested with the hood appropriate to this degree. Congratulations.
In the College of Engineering and Architecture, the candidates will be presented by John Anderson, PhD, Dean.
Will the candidates for degrees from the College of Engineering and Architecture please stand? Mr. President, upon recommendation of the faculty of the College of Engineering and Architecture, I have the honor to present these candidates to receive the degree of Master of Architecture and the degrees of Bachelor of Science in Architecture and Design Studies, Chemical Engineering, Civil Engineering, Computer Engineering, Computer Science, Electrical Engineering, and Mechanical Engineering.
Candidates for the degrees of Master of Architecture and the degrees of Bachelor of Science in Architecture and Design Studies, Chemical Engineering, Civil Engineering, Computer Engineering, Computer Science, Electrical Engineering, and Mechanical Engineering. Upon recommendation of the Dean and faculty, and by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of Howard University, I do now confer upon you your degree. With all the rights, privileges, and duties pertaining thereto, I direct that you be invested with the hood appropriate to this degree. Congratulations.
In the Chadwick Boseman College of Fine Arts, candidates will be presented by Gwendolyn Everett, PhD, Interim Dean.
Will the candidates from the Chadwick A. Boseman College of Fine Arts please stand? Mr. President, upon the recommendation of the faculty, the Chadwick A. Boseman College of Fine Arts, I have the distinct honor and pleasure to present the candidates who have completed the requirements for the degrees in the Bachelor of Arts, the Bachelor of Music, the Master of Fine Arts, and the Master of Music.
Candidates from the College of Fine Arts for the degrees of Bachelor of Fine Arts, Bachelor of Music, Master of Fine Arts, and Master of Music. Upon recommendation of the Dean and faculty and by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of Howard University, I do now confer upon you your degree. With all the rights, privileges, and duties pertaining thereto, I direct that you be invested with the hood appropriate to this degree. Congratulations.
In the College of Pharmacy, the candidates will be presented by Ranti Akiode, PharmD, Dean.
Will the candidates for the degree of Doctor of Pharmacy in the College of Pharmacy please stand? Mr. President, upon recommendation of the faculty of the College of Pharmacy, I have the honor to present this brilliant candidates to receive the degree of Doctor of Pharmacy.
Candidates for the degree of Doctor of Pharmacy upon recommendation of the Dean and faculty and by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of Howard University, I do now confer upon you your degree. With all the rights, privileges, and duties pertaining thereto, I direct that you be invested with the hood appropriate to this degree. Congratulations.
In the College of Nursing and Allied Health Sciences, the candidates will be presented by Devore Wingfield, PhD, Associate Dean.
Will the candidates for the degrees from the Division of Nursing in the College of Nursing and Allied Health Sciences please stand? Mr. President, upon recommendation of the faculty of the Division of Nursing of College of Nursing and Allied Health Science, I have the honor to present these candidates to receive the degrees of Bachelor of Science in Nursing and Master of Science in Nursing.
Candidates for the degrees of Bachelor of Science in Nursing and Master of Science in Nursing upon recommendation of the Dean and faculty and by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of Howard University, I do now confer upon you your degrees with all the rights, privileges, and duties pertaining thereto. I direct that you be invested with the hood appropriate to this degree. Congratulations.
Will the candidates for the degree from the Division of Allied Health Science in the College of Nursing and Allied Health Science please stand? Mr. President, upon recommendation of the faculty of the Division of Allied Health Science, College of Nursing and Allied Health Science, I have the honor to present these candidates to receive the degrees of Bachelor of Science in Clinical Laboratory Science, Bachelor of Science in Health Science, Bachelor of Science in Nutritional Science, and Bachelor of Science in Radiation Therapy, Masters of Science in Nutritional Science, Doctor of Occupational Therapy, and Doctor of Physical Therapy.
Candidates for the degrees of Bachelor of Science in Clinical Laboratory Science, Bachelor of Science in Health Sciences, Bachelor of Science in Nutritional Sciences, and Bachelor of Science in Radiation Therapy, Master of Science in Nutritional Sciences, Doctor of Occupational Therapy, and Doctor of Physical Therapy. Upon recommendation of the Dean and faculty, and by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of Howard University, I do now confer upon you your degree and certificate. With all the rights, privileges, and duties pertaining thereto, I do direct that you be invested with the hood appropriate to this degree. Congratulations.
In the School of Divinity, candidates will be presented by Kenyatta Gilbert, PhD, Dean.
Thank you, Mr. Provost.
Will the candidates for the degrees from the School of Divinity please stand? Mr. President, upon recommendation of the faculty of the School of Divinity, I have the honor to present these candidates to receive the degrees of Master of Divinity, Master of Divinity Social Work, Master of Arts in Religious Studies, and Doctor of Ministry.
Candidates for the degrees of Master of Divinity, Master of Social Work, Master of Arts in Religious Studies, and Doctor of Ministry. Upon recommendation of the Dean and faculty, and by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of Howard University, I do now confer upon you your degree. With all the rights, privileges, and duties pertaining thereto, I direct that you be invested with the hood appropriate to this degree. Congratulations.
In the College of Medicine, the candidates will be presented by Andrea Hayes Dixon, MD, Dean.
Will the candidates for the degree of Doctor of Medicine in the College of Medicine please stand? Mr. President, upon recommendation of the faculty of the College of Medicine, it is my honor to present to you the candidates for the degree of Doctor of Medicine.
Candidates for the degree of Doctor of Medicine. Upon recommendation of the Dean and faculty, and by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of Howard University, I do now confer upon you your degree. With all the rights, privileges, and duties pertaining thereto, I direct that you be invested with the hood appropriate to this degree. Congratulations.
In the School of Law, candidates will be presented by Roger Fairfax, Esquire, Dean.
Thank you, Mr. Provost. Will the candidates for degrees from the School of Law please stand if you are able? Mr. President, upon recommendation of the faculty of the School of Law, I have the honor to present these candidates to receive the degrees of Juris Doctor, and Master of Business Administration, and Master of Laws.
Candidates for the degrees of Juris Doctor, Master of Business Administration, and Master of Laws. Upon recommendation of the Dean and faculty, and by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of Howard University, I do now confer upon you your degree. With all the rights, privileges, and duties pertaining thereto, I direct that you be invested with the hood appropriate to this degree. Congratulations.
In the College of Dentistry, the candidates will be presented by Andrea Jackson, DDS, Dean.
Thank you, Mr. Provost. Will the candidates for the degree of Doctor of Dental Surgery from the College of Dentistry please stand? Mr. President, upon recommendation of the faculty of the College of Dentistry, I have the honor to present these candidates to you to receive the degree of Doctor of Dental Surgery.
Candidates for the degree of Doctor of Dental Surgery, upon recommendation of the Dean and faculty, and by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of Howard University, I do now confer upon you your degree and certificate. With all the rights, privileges, and duties pertaining thereto, I direct that you be invested with the hood appropriate to this degree. Congratulations.
In the School of Social Work, the candidates will be presented by Shiera Jennings, PhD, Dean.
Thank you, Mr. Provost. Will the candidates for degrees from the School of Social Work please stand?
Mr. President, upon recommendation from the faculty of the School of Social Work, it is my honor to present these candidates for degrees Master of Social Work, Master of Social Work, Master of Public Health, Master of Social Work, Master of Divinity, and Master of Social Work, Master of Business Administration.
Candidates for the degree of Master of Social Work, Master of Social Work, Master of Public Health, Master of Social Work, Master of Divinity, and Master of Social Work, Master of Business Administration, upon recommendation of the Dean and faculty, and by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of Howard University, I do now confer upon you your degree. With all the rights, privileges, and duties pertaining thereto, I direct that you be invested with the hood appropriate to these degrees. Congratulations.
Please join me in welcoming Miss J. Jones, the 64th Executive President of the Howard University Student Association and a 2025 graduate of the College of Arts and Sciences. She will share a graduation reflection.
Good afternoon, everyone. To our 18th President, Dr. Ben Vinson III, the Executive Cabinet, Chairman Morris, and the Board of Trustees, Alumni Association President Harris, and the entire alumni community, 65th HUSA President Ware, and the student body, family, friends, and faculty. And to the remarkable, resilient, and resounding class of 2025, good afternoon. For those who I have not had the pleasure of meeting, allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Jay Jones, a now proud graduate of Howard University with a Bachelor of Arts in Political Science. I also had the distinct honor of serving as the 64th Executive President of the Howard University Student Association. First and foremost, I want to give thanks to God, who is the head of my home and the leader of my life, for without him, none of this would be possible. To my mother and father, who have worked tirelessly to give me the opportunity to earn this degree. This achievement is just as much yours as it is mine. To my aunt and cousins who stood by me and served as a sanctuary in times of need. To my siblings who offered me love, comfort, and strength when I needed it most, thank you. And to my first ever chosen family here at Howard University, the men of George Washington Carver, affectionately known as MOG, you reminded me that I'm worthy of love, support, and joy in every form. And you all will forever have my heart. LOL. As I began to prepare this final address as HUSA Executive President, I found myself struggling to find the right words. My usual process didn't work, and every attempt came up short. I realized that ordinary measures wouldn't be good enough for such an extraordinary day. So I returned to where my journey began, the office of the Dean of the Chapel. And there I sat down with my trusted confidant, Cynthia Rodwell, and sought the wisdom of one of Howard's elders, known affectionately to all of us as Pops. Ms. Rodwell told me something that changed everything. Allow yourself to feel the journey of the past 4 years. So as a Christian, I did my usual and I turned to my Bible, not searching for a specific verse, but a theme. And what I discovered was, for 40 days of resilience, there's always one day of victory. Now let me say this clearly, whether or not you share my faith, I believe this message speaks to all of us. See, the stories of embrace, transformation, and renewal are found across cultures, traditions, and belief. They speak to something universal, that after hardship and uncertainty, and after long nights of doubt, there is always the possibility of a new day. The journey of transformation is not about the struggles we face, it is about the triumph we achieve when we embrace the lessons of those challenges. So let me take you back to the 40 days that we've spent at Howard University. In many traditions, the number 40 represents a period of testing, transformation, and growth. In the Bible, Noah endured 40 days and nights of rain. Moses was sent 40 days atop of the mountain awaiting instruction. Elijah walked 40 days to find strength. And Jesus spent 40 days in the desert fasting and praying. For us, our 40 days spanned over 4 years. These 4 years have tested us, shaped us, and transformed us. We have faced challenges, hardships, and obstacles, but with each day we have grown stronger, more resilient, and more determined. And today, class of 2025, today is our 41st day. Today marks the moment many of us have dreamed of since the day we first arrived on campus. You see, it's the joy that comes in the morning. It's the moment where we go beyond the valley of the shadow of death. It is the celebration after the struggle. And over these 4 years, we witnessed and helped lead monumental change for the university. From the reconstruction of the Blackburn University Center, the completion of the undergraduate library and minor hall, the restoration of our R1 research status, and the transition of a new university president. We celebrated the election and the inauguration of the first woman of trans experience to hold the highest student office of any HBCU and the first black woman to be elected as Vice President of the United States of America. And through it all, I've had the privilege of serving in many roles: president, vice president, mentor, mom, and most importantly, friend. When I began my terms, I borrowed the words of my dean, Dean Bernard Richardson. You were made for a time such as this. At that time, I applied the phrase to our university, but now standing here with all of you, I see it applies to so much greater. Class of 2025, you were made for this moment. Because when you take a step back and look at all that we've survived, all that we've accomplished, and all of who we've become, it is clear that this is the time that we were made for. So as I take my seat for the final time, I want to say thank you. Thank you for allowing me to serve. Thank you for believing in me. And thank you for being the most diverse, empathetic, courageous, and loving student body I have ever known. And as I begin to celebrate my 41st day, I do so with deep gratitude for the challenges that shaped me, the community that held me, and the purpose I now carry onward. Class of 2025, this won't be our last 40 days. Life will throw more trials with you, but let us walk forward with this truth in our hearts. For every season of uncertainty, every uphill climb, and every long night, there is always a 41st day. Thank you.
As our newest graduates, please welcome Dr. Candace Harris, the president of the Howard University Alumni Association. She will guide you in reciting the traditional pledge as indicated on page 85 in your program book.
Hey, alumni. Today, as Howard graduates, you are joining the 90,000 plus living alumni. You are in elite company. Now, before I begin reading the pledge, I wouldn't be doing my job if I did not encourage you to make your first donation as an alum. Now, I heard this is the largest graduating class, right? If each of you gave $20.25, you can leave an approximate $76,000 in emergency funding for the next class, the next graduating Bison class. And you can do that, shameless plug, giving.howard.edu. Now please stand if you received an HUAA emergency scholarship. Stand if your mama, daddy, auntie, uncles, grandparents, cousins, and play cousins help you get here. Stand if an administrator, an alum, a staff member, a faculty member gave you that right on time support. Stand if you got through on a wing and a prayer by the grace of God. Or stand if you got here by your sheer determination of your own self-will. Did I get everybody? So please repeat after me and bear with me because y'all know I abbreviated this because I know y'all ready to go. I say your name. Am a graduate of Howard University. Howard University is my home. No matter how far I travel from her, no matter how long I am absent from her, Howard University is always here for me. I am defined by the privilege of a Howard University education. I cannot fail in life, leadership, service, and the search for truth and right will light my way. My potential contributions to humankind are unlimited, and I will give them freely and in abundance. I'm going to say that again. And in abundance. I pledge my support, and I understand that it is not a matter of choice, but one of responsibility. And I will never forget that responsibility. I am a graduate of the Howard University. Congratulations, class of 2025. Ain't you?
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome President Vincent to the podium to share his closing remarks on this momentous occasion.
As we close, please allow me to recognize a few distinguished individuals and groups who have joined us today. If you are in attendance and are able to do so, please stand when your name is called. Chairman Lawrence Morse and the Howard University Board of Trustees. Howard University's Presidential Cabinet. Reverend Dr. Bernard Richardson, Dean of the Andrew Rankin Memorial Chapel. Dr. Chris Royal, Chair of the Howard University Faculty Senate. Ms. Monique McClung, President of the Howard University Staff Organization. Dr. Candace Harris, President of the Howard University Alumni Association. Ms. Mary Jones Bryant, President of the Association of Howard University Retirees. Ms. Jay Jones, President of the Howard University Student Association. Ms. Lauren Taylor, Chair of the Graduate Student Assembly. Our 157th Convocation Orator, Dr. LeVar Burton. This year's honorary degree recipients, Dr. Emery Neal Brown, the Honorable Dr. Barbara Lee, Dr. Lillian Sonoy Barr, Dr. Natasha Trethway, the deans of Howard University's 14 schools and colleges, members of our distinguished faculty, the entire staff of Howard University, the staff who planned and executed this convocation, the students of Howard the illustrious alumni of Howard University. The Golden Reunion Class of 1975. The Howard University Concert Band under the direction of Dr. Eric O'Poole and Mr. Chancellor Mills. The finest student performers in the Chadwick A. Bozeman College of Fine Arts under the direction of Dr. Eric O'Poole, Artistic Director of University Convocations. And last, but certainly not least, the Howard University graduating class of 2025. Looking ahead, the future of Howard University shines bright, in no small part because of the brilliance gathered in front of us on the yard today. As alumni, I hope you'll remain engaged, inspired, and connected. Howard's strength is a collective force, and we still need you as we continue our journey toward maximum strength. Congratulations again to the class of 2025. To everyone else in our Howard community, I wish you a joyful and safe summer. We look forward to your return this fall, recharged, renewed, HU!
Please join us for the singing of the alma mater and remain standing for the benediction to be delivered by the Dean of the Andrew Rankin Memorial Chapel, the Reverend Dr. Bernard L. Richardson. After the benediction, please remain standing for the recessional Dean Richardson.
We thank you, O Lord, for what eyes have seen, our ears have heard, and our hearts have felt. And now I said to the one who stood at the gate, give me a light that I may go out into the darkness and into the unknown. And she replied to me, go out into the darkness, go out into the unknown, but put your hand in the hand of God, and God shall be for you better than light and much safer than a known way. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face to shine upon you and give you peace, both now and forevermore. Amen.
Reminded that these proceedings were being live streamed via howard.edu, as well as broadcast live on Howard University Media Network, WHUT-TV, Howard University Television, and WHUR 96.3 FM. Program will also air tomorrow, Sunday, May 11th, beginning at 11 a.m. on WHUT-TV. Thank you for being our guests in celebration of the Howard University 157th Commencement Convocation. Please enjoy the remainder of the day. Be safe. HU.